All right. Hello, everybody. Welcome back to the ninth episode of Beyond the Field podcast. Today we have on Ryan Ramsey, 13th overall, a 13th round draft pick for the Kansas City Royals this past 2022 draft. Ryan, thanks for taking the time to come on. This is going to be a little special interview for me, Mark, and Rammer too, because we got to play high school baseball together. We got to be in a dog pile together, celebrate a championship. Rammer, where are you at right now? Happy to have you on. Give the viewers a little bit of a little in the life of Ryan Ramsey right now.
Well, I'm currently in South Carolina. I'm in an old insane asylum as my living arrangements. So that's a good way to get started in your minor
That's what
league
you meant by
affiliate
that?
life.
You sent me that the other day, and I was so confused on what you meant. I was like,
I'm
what?
literally in an insane asylum. I should send you guys pictures. It's kind of creepy.
Wow.
Maybe you could just like take us on a tour or something after.
Yeah,
Or like
I can do that.
South Carolina Insane Asylum. What level are you playing at right now?
I'm in low A right now. That's
Low
what got
A.
me started. Yep.
What's the team called?
Columbia Fireflies. It used to be the Mets low A, or I don't know what affiliate it was, but an affiliate of the Mets.
No, Frank is gonna be down there for one of the games when he goes to see James. I forget who you're gonna be playing, but Frank's gonna be at one of the games.
Oh, okay.
Next month, whenever you're out there.
Yeah.
Very cool.
How's it been going up there or down there?
I've been here for a week now. We've played one game.
Okay.
We got rained out basically the whole entire weekend, so haven't been able to really play. So I think we're heading to Charleston tomorrow.
Are
Yeah.
you on the bump for tomorrow? Or was that
Nah,
you're supposed to go on Friday now? I guess it resets the rotation, I guess, for the new week, but
I'm piggybacking off a guy on Friday. So I'm not starting at the moment. We have way too many pitchers, so I'm just piggybacking off a guy, but my pitch count's at like 70, 80 pitches right now.
So I kind of want a little Arsenal update. What's the pitch portfolio looking like nowadays? Because I used to be able to slap you around a little bit when we were in high school.
Yeah,
I don't think
yeah.
I don't think
Nah,
that's the same anymore.
the same Arsenal. Fastball, curveball, changeup. I tried to do a cutter slider in the off season, and it was screwing a bunch of other stuff up. So we kind of put that one in the back pocket and saving it for another off season. But it's a good arsenal right now. That the sequence of fastball, changeup, fastball, curveball is really good. So
Yeah. And what's the velo up to nowadays on the heater?
around the same. College treated me the same. I basically threw around 90, 91 the whole entire time, and haven't been able to really increase velo, but hopefully it's a little bit different this year. I think the build-up's way, way different than college, which is pretty cool. For college, it's get ready in December, and you got to be ready to throw as many pitches as you can by February. And for here, it's be ready by April.
Yeah.
And we're still on a pitch count, which I think is really cool.
Yeah. And how has the communication with the coaches been, like your pitching coach versus your pitching coaches that you're working with now versus the pitching coach at Maryland? Obviously, big time Maryland program, you're still getting top-notch coaches, but what is the difference you've seen so far in college coaching and professional coaching?
I got really lucky my junior year, right before I left. Coach Morrison, our pitching coach, was a younger guy. He came from Coastal Carolina, and then he went to go play for the White Sox for a little bit. So he's a little bit on the younger side, and he kind of left it up to us. It's kind of our responsibility to take care of our stuff, but he was there as kind of like a guiding voice. So it matches up really well with what minor league baseball is. They're going to give you a lot of responsibility to handle stuff on your own. But if you need someone to talk to, that's where the communication kind of comes in, where if you need help on a certain pitch or mechanically, that's where you reach out to people. And you have the analytical side too, if you need to reach out to them.
Yeah, how analytical has the pro ball been? Like, is it you're throwing every bullpen on a Rapsodo TrackMan?
Yeah, I mean, it's just about everything. They take batting practice using Rapsodo machines just to kind of see their exit velocities and whatnot. But yeah, our bullpens are all kind of tracked. Here at the affiliates, it's not as much, but when we were out in Arizona for spring training, they have TrackMans, Rapsodos, Edgertronics videos to kind of see what your your pitch overlays look like and whatnot.
What was that like being out in Arizona for spring training? Did you get to see any big name big leaguers, or was it still a lot of like the recently drafted younger guys?
A lot of they kind of, I wouldn't say try to separate us, but we're very separated between big league and minor league guys. You're gonna see guys in the weight room. Like it was cool to see Zach Greinke in the weight room, or Aroldis Chapman. Aroldis Chapman is way bigger than I thought.
He's a big man.
It's unbelievable. His biceps are bigger than my thighs. Like it's just he's a large human being.
He's
But
a
yeah,
stack out.
yeah, you're kind of just seeing them every once in a while. You're seeing just Royals guys. I don't really think I saw any guys from other teams when they came to play us. But no, it's just your teammates. They're kind of using the same weight room as you, and it's cool to just see them.
Very cool. Very
A lot
cool.
of golf played out there too, right?
Oh man, I got a lot better, but I still got a long way to go.
You breaking 100?
Yeah.
Oh boy, I've only done that like 2 or 3 times. So what's in the life of your off day looking like today?
Wake up 5 minutes before I'm supposed to do this.
Do this.
No, just relax. They make sure you know that your off days are supposed to be spent like this, just doing nothing. Make sure you're recovering well, because it's a long season and they don't want you to get worn out towards the end
Do
of it.
do they want you lifting?
No, I mean, I think when you get to college, even at least for me, it was for pitchers, it was not a lot of lifting.
Interesting.
Once before season, it's like, yeah, you lift three or four times a week. And then during the season for college and for now, I'm lifting 2 times a week, and it's light. It's more based around stretching and keeping your mobility and not deteriorating, basically.
How's the mobility looking like right now? Is there
A lot.
anything that could use some work, or anything that has gotten better that you're hyped up about? Or like,
What do you want to massage me or something?
I would love to if I was there.
Everything's gotten a lot better. Definitely they center their ideas around staying mobile and providing new stretches to be able to do that.
Yeah. I don't know if you guys just saw the man leave my room. We have a story being put together for us, Reimer. So anyone who's watching, if you guys saw another man behind me as I was recording, sometime next week, I believe, Bay 9 News for Tampa Bay down here, they're putting together a story on Elevate and the podcast that we've been running while I'm also, finishing up playing. So I didn't want you guys to think that was the man I slept.
That's awesome, dude.
The man I slept with last night, just leaving, getting out of here.
That was your booty call. On his way out, they're gonna do the walk of shame.
Yeah, shout out to Kenny Morales. He's putting this story together for us. Hopefully, we'll get the links and be able to post it everywhere. But I just wanted to point that out so that we're not, you guys aren't thinking my nightstand is leaving behind me. So Ram, what's the biggest difference you've seen pitching at the college level versus pitching at the professional level, like in live sessions, all the times that you're throwing with professional hitters in the box? Do you feel different? Is the mentality the same? What are you thinking while you're on the mound?
It's very close to college baseball. I think the easiest way to put it is everyone's 3 or 4 hitter is kind of the baseline 1 through 9. I've seen a lot of, at least I played a lot against Texas, and the game that we played against Augusta, which is the Atlanta Braves affiliate. A lot of wiry guys that have some juice, but they're more slap hitters. 1 through 2, that's what I've seen so far, is just guys that if they need to bunt to get a hit, they'll do it to start it off, which is not something that I necessarily see a lot in college. There's only like a specific amount of teams that I've seen kind of do that.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Cool. And how do you feel like you mentally and physically prepare for games or start days? Is there any sort of rituals or routines that you follow?
I kind of keep it pretty lax. Right now, the whole vibe of professional ball is a lot like summer ball, like just the area that
Really?
we're around. I would say it's pretty close to that. Like you get to the field, you get, the pregame meal. You got everybody around the park that's it looks exactly like summer ball, like people helping out, getting the field ready and whatnot. Um, and then during the game, you get like the between innings stuff, but the whole entire vibe is just like summer ball. So I just try to keep it lax. I had a lot of fun playing summer ball, so I just kind of keep it very, very neutral. Don't get too worked up about stuff, and just kind of stick to what I've been preparing to do. Whether it be during the week, during sides and whatnot. But yeah.
Yeah,
It's
bringing up
kind of
some.
something that I wanted to bring up because I think, like, I mean, I caught you for 4 years or so in high school, and one of the things that I think that you've done best is your composure on the mound, and I think that that definitely led to a bunch of your success. Like, can you just like go in a little bit about like how important it is for our younger listeners or anybody out there, like how important it is to keep your composure on the mound and not let like a walk and then a double and then a run like back to back like get into your head a little bit?
I think the first part of that is when you're super, super young. Like, I wouldn't say super young, but right when you're at the stage of, hey, colleges might be looking at you, is to keep your composure. I mean, if you give up a hit, that's fine. But if things start to compile, like, you just got to stay composed out there. Like, if a college team looks at you and you get upset over the little things that happen during a game, they're going to cross off a box and say, yeah, we're not going to look at this kid. Doesn't matter. Some colleges will, but if it's a top college, you're gonna be, yeah, I don't want this kid's character. Like, that's the first thing they're gonna look at. And then in college, it kind of goes for the same. If your characteristics on the mound don't represent the team, you might do okay. You're just not going to get another chance. And that's the most important thing in college is there's not going to be, rare occurrences. A freshman comes in and they're going to be the Friday starter just because of how well they did in high school.
Mm.
There's some kids where they're going to come in and be, bottom line players. They're trying to get a spot at third base and they get that one opportunity. They boot a ball and they're freaking out. They're not going to get that opportunity again. If they boot a ball and they kind of say, okay, I'm going to get the next one, that's what a coach sees and says, okay, I can trust this kid. He's going to make errors every once in a while, like everyone else does, but I can count on him to come back and, make the next play.
Yeah, kind of just like seeing if you could handle being rattled or not, or what
Yeah.
you do under pressure. Because, like for you especially, you've been in those big time situations. Especially like we're gonna definitely get into the perfect game at some point. But
Oh yeah.
in those types of situations, like I know you're not getting hit around, but like in your head, like your head could be going a million different places, and you got to be able to like block all that out, hone in,
Yeah.
stay locked in, and if somebody gets a hit, they get a hit. There's nothing you can do about it.
Yeah.
Yeah, we can go
Guess we
into
can
that a
just-
little bit. So
I
yeah,
guess
Ryan
we
Ramsey
transition.
threw the second perfect game in Maryland history last year, the 20th in NCAA history, I believe. That's what I see on my stats over here. It was on April 29th, 2022 against Northwestern. Rammer, I mean, you didn't even get to do this in high school. So what was it like throwing a perfect game in college? What was going through your head in those 7th, 8th, and 9th innings once you got to 2 outs? I mean, can you take
Did you
us the
notice?
listeners through? Yeah,
Did you
that
notice
whole
throughout the game?
team not talking to you, were those superstitions going on? What was that like?
I would say you don't start like thinking about it until like the 6th inning, because most of those starts during the year I was going 7 innings most of the time. So no, not giving up a hit or anything through 4 innings. You're just like, all right, well, the next inning it could happen. Like, it's fine.
Yeah.
But once I got to the 6th inning, I'm like, this is getting pretty close. I only got 3 times. I got to go back out there and do this. But there's a bunch of crazy plays. Troy Scheffler made a great play in right field that kind of kept it alive. Couple great plays in the infield. And a lot of times where it got up to like 3-2 counts, I think I had a 3-1 count at one point and came all the way back and got a ground out or something's bad contact, and I was like, wow, this guy's an idiot. Like, you're not gonna see
Just
pitches.
saved you.
Yeah,
Saved the
you
perfect
saved
game.
me. It
Like, I
got
wonder
pretty
what's going
crazy
through
towards
your
the
head
end.
at that like 3-1 count. You get into a 3-1 count, and you're like, oh shit! Like, I know that I'm throwing a perfect game right now.
I just
Now
need to be
everything's happening.
middle. It
Yeah.
doesn't matter what
Like, going
happens.
over the
Yeah.
plate. Just get it over the plate.
You're already up 13-0 or whatever the score was
That's-
at the
yeah.
time in the later innings. So it's, if you groove a fastball and let up a bomb, it's not like, you're still trying to compete for the win in a 1-0 game too. It's not like you're still gonna fill up the zone with whatever you need to get over the plate.
That was great.
So were they not talking to you 6th inning, 7th inning on? Just your catcher talking to you?
Not even my catcher. My catcher didn't even want to say a word to me.
Really?
Yeah. No, the thing
in.
is, it was a 13-0 game, so it's like every inning, the innings were long, which was kind of unfortunate. You want to win games, but it's like every inning, guys are getting on base, and then I'm seeing a ball go over, and it's like, all right, well, this is going to be a long inning. But no one really talked to me after that. I was, like I said, I keep it pretty lax. I was celebrating with the guys when they were scoring runs, because that's what you want as a pitcher, basically. But it was getting a little uptight towards like the 8th inning.
Yeah. No, oh my God, dude. I remember seeing that, and I think I tuned in for the last inning just because there was like a ESPN notification saying Ryan Ramsey from Maryland is, 1 inning away from a perfect game. I'm like, I used to drink beers with that dude. Like, I know that guy.
Yeah.
I probably should tune in and watch him get to celebrate with his team if he gets it completed. I mean, that was something that was super special for you, obviously. Was your dad or family there?
Yeah, my dad, my mom.
You hopped the fence.
I did hop the fence. Yeah, my grandparents were there. They come to most of my starts, but a whole bunch of my friends were there, which was cool. It's kind of one of those games I think it was towards the end of the season. So we were getting more fans. It was nicer weather. But yeah.
Yeah,
it was a big
April
crowd.
29th, definitely later in the season. So what is the season like in Pro Ball? How long will you be playing for? You threw 92 innings this past year. Was your arm feeling good? Like, this is going to maybe be lighter amount of innings, just because of how many pitchers you were saying are on the roster. You can go out there and really let it eat the times that you're going to start getting out there.
Yeah, I mean, it's 100 and something games, 160 games. We'll play until.
Oh, it is a 160 game season?
Yeah. We play
I didn't know
until September, early September. I think that's around playoffs. Yeah.
Wow.
So I mean, I
season.
necessarily won't be able to get up to more than whatever the starter does. If the starter throws a complete game, I just go to the next game and be a piggyback there. And it's subject to change. That's what our pitching staff said. You're going to start as a piggyback, and then if we need to make changes, then we'll make changes. So it's all a matter of production and results.
Yeah, I actually had no idea it was still a 160 game season. You can easily throw 90 plus innings again, hopefully this year. And when you're piggybacking, if you're dicing again, you'll probably start getting the ball to start the game. So that'll be sick. Who are some of the players at Maryland that you want to, that you made a cool connection with? Any guys that got drafted that are experiencing similar situations as you, is like living in an insane asylum right now? Like, is there any guys you still stay in contact with from Maryland?
Yeah, we all sort of stay in contact. I think I stay in contact a little bit more with Chris Ayin, Bubba. Haven't really talked to him that much of where he's at. I know he's almost positive he's in Washington State right now, which I don't know.
All over.
It's crazy how they go all over, and he's probably getting poured on every single day. Being in Washington, Troy Schreffler's in I want to say high A in Florida. No, he's in high A in Jersey for the Blue Claws. So that was a cool little
Blue
thing.
Claws.
Yeah.
Wasn't he a roommate too? Was Troy a roommate or my buddy?
Yeah, Troy was my roommate. Yeah.
That's what I thought. I saw Bubba at Xfinity Live during the Phillies series.
They're the biggest Philly fans. I think half of our team was Phillies fans, which is cool. I'll respect the Philly love because they will go all out for Eagles and Phillies baseball.
It's crazy being down at school right there. It's like I hate it. But I also love it. But like, it's so annoying. Like the fans are just ridiculous. Like there's really nothing like it. They're just psychopaths. It's kind of crazy.
Yeah.
To kind of go back to what we were saying before, I just want to say also, Rammer has his own Barstool shirt. I was gonna wear it. I was just looking for it. I'm kind of pissed that I didn't wear it. But Rammer does have his own Barstool. But you were talking about like your dad was at the game and all that stuff. I do want to just bring up how I know you and your dad are close. I just want to ask, how has your dad impacted you, like as a player, as a person, gotten you to where you are? Because I know your dad, he's a great guy. He does a lot for you. He's always at the field walking around before or after the games talking to us. Like how has he been an impact on your
Yeah, you got to tell Randy I say hi.
I will. He's good. He's been my first coach. He pitched college baseball at Mount St. Mary's, so he definitely knows what he's talking about. I think the older I got, the less I kind of listened to him. But early on when I lived in Florida, he was my first coach, pitching lessons and whatnot. And then when we got up here, it was kind of every single year, it was a step away from him and learning from different people, which was cool. But it was always somebody to go back to. I could always reach out to him if I had questions. And when I got to college, it was like, even before that, I was like, dude, I don't want to see you standing anywhere near where I can see you. I don't want to see the whole entire game because then I'm going to think, oh, he's judging me. And in college, he even judged me. He would have his notebook out and he'd be writing every single inning, every single pitch I was throwing, which I always got bugged about. But he was always doing it for the better. Off seasons, making Excel spreadsheets of my throwing programs. I'm like, Dad, I'm in college, right? Like, we get a throwing program for the off season. It's like, yeah, but I can make it too. It's the one from Watica. Like, I'm just going off of what he does. No, he was funny when he did that. Always making sure I was doing the right things, lifting, eating right, and whatnot. And with A Perfect Game, he kind of just fed me for the love of the game, the movie. I don't know if you guys have ever watched that with Kevin Costner.
Yeah.
I think I've watched that movie before The Perfect Game. I think I watched that movie maybe 10 times. I always like Kevin Costner movies, whether it be Field of Dreams, For the Love of the Game.
Yeah.
I love those movies. And to kind of do that, to throw A Perfect Game, it kind of just you only dream about it. You think about it.
Real.
Yeah, no,
it's
not
surreal.
something you
no
think
other
you
way
can
to
do.
explain it.
Yeah.
There's no other way to explain it. But yeah, Randy was definitely, I feel like he was always around, and you guys definitely have a unique relationship, I would say. Like, I feel like he's just like, it's like talking to one of us. Like, I could go up to him and just like start fucking around with him. Like,
Yeah.
like it's just like something like that.
Yeah.
Shout out Randy Ramsey.
Shout out Randy. Can you discuss like a little bit how you have balanced your professional athlete life and also high level college baseball life with your personal life and interests outside of baseball? We try to ask this to a lot of the guys we have on because, something that I've found has helped me perform better this year. And in the past is, not letting baseball dictate your entire life. Obviously we're going out there, we're competing at really high levels, you at the highest level. And, it can be frustrating when you don't perform how you want to, but also like we got to step back. Remember, it's a game. You're getting paid to play baseball right now. This is a dream a lot of people out there dream of. So how do you kind of balance the athlete life and other interests outside of baseball?
Well, to start in college was one of those things where you have baseball for basically the middle part of your day. And then you also have school. Freshman year, I would say it was definitely the middle part of baseball and then school kind of surrounding it. It was school in the mornings and kind of studying or whatnot at night. And I was going, balls to the wall on that. And then you start to realize that, school kind of isn't, school's important, but baseball is kind of importanter if you're really going down that path. But I think my sophomore year, you get a little bit of a better handle on how to do your class stuff and also play baseball, and then add a social part of it. It's hard to have three things in your life that you're good at. And I think my sophomore and junior year, I got a little bit better at social life than I did at school. And it bit me in the butt, to be honest. One of my sophomore semesters, I was very, very close to having some tough times in school. But kind of pedaled through it at the end and got through it. So there's a fine line of balance that you need to find. If you're not one of those guys that wants to get all A's, then there's a way that you go to class every single day. That was the biggest thing. Like, if you go to class in college, you're gonna pass it. You know, if you're not going, which I saw a lot of kids do in college, not go to their classes, then you're gonna have a tough time. And some guys can do it. Some guys can pass classes without going to it. Other guys can't. And I mean,
some teachers
Maryland,
don't allow it either. It depends on the
some teachers don't. And there's a handful of guys that were ineligible for the fall. And if you're ineligible for the fall, you can't play for the season. And it's a sucky thing. Like, you don't want that to happen, because you're losing a whole entire year because of school. And that's not worth it.
It's a controllable.
Yeah, it's controllable. So you find an equal balance of the three, and you're managing the school part of it. Especially if you're putting a lot of effort into baseball. And it shows, honestly. If you put effort into your schoolwork and you're seeing results from that, it's going to make you feel good. And if you're putting efforts into baseball, it's just a compiling effort that's going to bring up your mental toughness and mental confidence as well.
So you got drafted after your junior year. So what, do you get to finish your degree? You're pretty close to finishing it probably. Does the Royals maybe say, hey, we'll pay for you to finish online school somewhere? I've heard that before. Is there anything are you going to finish a degree, or is that not something you're thinking about right now?
Yeah. I got lucky enough. A lot of people, most minor league or most professional teams will do it. They'll give you a set amount of money to finish school. So I think I have 6 classes left. And they're paying for 2 semesters. So it's a decent, and it's living arrangements as well. So they're paying for a good majority of it, which is really, really cool.
That's going to be online. You'll be finishing those classes, or will you go back?
I'll probably do these. I'll do these online. I did in person last year. Along with the living arrangements, I got an apartment on campus. I didn't really want to live with my parents for the off season, so got an apartment on campus. But yeah, no, they allow you to do anything you want to be able to finish it. I could be in South Carolina. I could take classes here if I wanted to.
Very cool.
That is cool.
Very cool. All right. So what advice would you give those young aspiring baseball players out there who listen? I know my younger cousin listens to this podcast. He gets some of his friends. Like, what would be, if you were back in high school and you had to tell your friends, how we're going to make it to the big leagues together, what would you say were some key steps in getting you to where you are today?
I would say definitely the controllables, what you eat, how much water you drink, how much sleep you get. Because I talked about it with my college buddies. High school's tough. You wake up pretty early to go to school. You got school that ends at 3, then you got practice. And if you're a dedicated athlete, you got to find time to work out when you can. And you got to do homework later at night. So it's just a matter, for me, looking back on it, it's getting better every single day. I think that's the easiest way to put it. When I was in high school, my sophomore year, more my freshman year, there's always that aspiration to play professional baseball. But honestly, I did not think I was going to be able to. I thought I didn't throw hard enough. I wasn't that good enough to play professional baseball. And then you keep going year by year, doing the right things, lifting, eating, training right, whatever it might be. And got to my junior year, got the commitment to Maryland, and then proceeded on with that. When I got there my freshman year, I had the same exact doubt. Like, I really don't think I can play professional baseball. I'm going to be average Division I pitcher that gets a little bit of playing time. Go back to the drawing board, more stuff. You take a step back, you try to get better every single day. You take in a lot of information from your coaches, from stuff you see online, and you just kind of build upon that. I think my sophomore year, I was a reliever and I pitched really, really well, got the opportunity to start. And that's how most of it goes. You start your college careers as a reliever and then work your way up as a starter. Some guys do it faster than others. Some guys do it slower than others. Sometimes they start their senior year and then end up getting drafted. So there's different timelines for everybody. It's just a matter of making sure that you're not doubting yourself and you're getting better every single day.
Yeah, control what you can control. Get comfortable being uncomfortable.
How does it feel now that you had those thoughts, like, yeah, I'm going to be an average mid D1 pitcher, to now being a Maryland legend? Because I can definitely say you're a Maryland legend. Paul, you should have seen this kid when I went to one of his games when he was pitching. It was like one of the most bizarre things I've seen. It was literally like he was a celebrity. Everybody's chanting his name. Everybody knew who he was. Bro, we went to the freaking bar after, and random people were going up and buying him drinks. I was like, yo, did you know that guy? He's like, no, I have no idea who that is. And then he was just like, everybody knew him. His jersey's up there now, right? Like, how does it feel going from that to that? Like, how does it feel being?
I think it's when it happened, when you think about those things twice, from freshman year and then in high school, where you think you're not going to be a professional baseball player, it brings a lot of perspective when you get to professional ball. I'm 22 years old right now. I got a long way to go if I want to be at the top of the top. So just remembering that, you're going to have those really, really down moments where you're not going to be too confident in yourself. And you got to go back to, hey, I've had a lot of success in my life, whether it be at Maryland, whether it be at Hills. I just need to take that and say, hey, we've had those down moments. We're just going to stay where we're at and we're going to keep working up.
Baseball's low-key a game of failure, like we talk about on a few others. Like hitters, if they hit 3 for 10, they bat 300 in their career, they're potentially a Hall of Famer. And, that's getting out 7 other times in your at-bats when getting 3 hits. So, I mean, I don't have to sit here and tell you guys how math works, but, that you're going back to the dugout 7 times pretty upset with yourself that you didn't get a hit. For pitchers, we have sub-2 ERAs. That's probably great years. Anywhere in 2s to 3s ERAs for starters are great ERAs. And, that's still giving up some runs. Like, it's going to happen. You got to stay pretty even-headed and, go start to start and control what you can control. Something I want to add in towards the end of this interview, Rammer. So I have some friends who are starting to listen pretty consistently, and they're like, yo, can I get a question? Can I get a question? And I'm like, sure. So I think I'm going to start a segment towards the end of all the interviews where if people want to comment on the Instagrams a question that they want to ask the next interviewee, or if they want to send it to me personally. This friend, Matthew Fogel, actually sent it to me. He talked about it at practice and now he wants me to ask it. So shout out Matthew Fogel. His question here is, if you had to rate yourself right now from 1 to 10 on how good you are and where you think you'll be, what number would you give yourself now? And what number do you think you can achieve?
Interesting.
That's a great question.
It's an interesting question because obviously you want to give yourself a 10, and I would want to give myself a 10. But like when you look at it, you're like, if I were to pitch in the MLB right now, I don't think I would be a Cy Young. So, those are the 10s of the 10s. But like, what number do you think right now you could rate yourself?
I think I would say start from backwards. Is that I think all these guys, the Nolan Ryans, the Sandy Koufax, the Justin Verlanders, all these guys that are going to be Hall of Famers, maybe they didn't think it was going to happen to them. They probably had a lot of confidence in themselves to say like, hey, I'm going to be a good pitcher. But I would love to know if they really thought, hey, I'm going to be where I was at today. So I think you always have to have the thought, I'm going to be the 10 out of 10 guy. That's what I'm looking for. I think if you're a very competitive person, you're not going to settle for average. So you're going to settle for being the best of the best. And I think when you get to the big leagues, that's why those guys are so driven, is like they're there right now. They don't want to lose that spot. That's why they're trying to reach for the next goal. To say what I am now, I would say a baseline for MLB pitchers is an 8 out of 10. I'd say I'm a 6 out of 10. I think that's a good place to put me at right now, at least my opinion. You made it to the minor leagues. There's a lot of steps up from that. I would put 0.5s on, each level of minor league ball. Once you get up to the big leagues, you're a 7 out of 10. And then if you're a good MLB pitcher, an 8 out of 10. But
I like that.
It's hard to judge yourself, but yeah.
No, I like that
answer, right,
when he told me to ask the question, I'm like, that's kind of a difficult question to answer, but I'll throw it at him. This is my friend. I can throw it at him and make him, think about his game a little bit more.
Yeah, no, that's definitely an interesting question. I just had like one more, just like as a side thing. Do they have you wearing the wristbands or anything now when you go out and pitch?
No, they haven't.
Times given.
Yeah, I think at AAA they start to do it. They'll do pitch com for AAA.
You want to tell us your signs? We'll cut this part out so no one can do scouting on.
What about at Maryland? Was the catcher calling the game or was coach calling it?
Well, I just missed the cutoff for that. I watched their first game against USF, and they were using watches. So I think they had watches. They could see what pitch it was.
Yeah.
And I was never the biggest fan of that. I didn't like watches. If a team had a wrist guard, I don't know if you guys did that, but if a team had a wrist guard on.
We have it this year at Tampa. We have it this year. It's different. It's really different.
I don't know. I don't think I could pitch with that on. The look of it just doesn't. It's not right to me. But
I also just think that pitchers are pitch with you could get crossed up so easily. I feel like, and pitchers, no offense, you're both pitchers, sometimes aren't the brightest.
No, we're not. No,
it's hard. It's hard when you're up on the mound.
I might be the brightest.
Yeah,
I might be the brightest, but there is some freshman guys that you watch them go out and pitch, especially in college, and you're like, in a game too, in a huge, in a good moment, and you're like, they're gonna freaking cross them up. There's no doubt about it. And it happens sometimes, especially in Maryland. We had a home field advantage. We don't have it anymore, but a home field advantage of our lights suck. Our lights were terrible. So you could not put signs in between your legs. You had to do body stuff. And the body stuff, all of our signs were tough. They were difficult to get. We were doing addition, we were doing subtraction, and doing that on the mound is not easy. And the numbers that we were adding up were not normal signs. A 6 was a change up.
Yeah, it's
really?
It's what? That doesn't even.
That is interesting. That is really interesting. But yeah, it's at Tampa we do have the wrist thing, and it shows up. First sign is location, is pitch, and then second sign is location. Both the pitcher and catcher get it. Cool thing is one of our infielders usually also wear it on their glove as well, so they can have an idea of what's coming if they want it. That's I think where the game wants to go, so everyone knows what pitch is coming. You see it in the MLB now. As you get older, as you keep moving through the ranks, you'll have your catcher plugging it in on his shin guard and coming in through your hat, which you won't be having to do any more math in that brain of yours.
That's what that's what St. Joe's did. Remember when we played St. Joe's and they beat us in the counties the second year? We saw their shortstop, he would look in, he would get the sign, and then he would go back, and then he would go like this to the outfielder to let him know which sign was coming.
We had Billy Siegenthaler relaying it to us, and we still lost.
We had somebody planted to check that out and still couldn't come out with the dub. But I think that is interesting how everybody's trying to know what pitch is coming. I think it helps out.
I'll add on to that. That's another big thing is in college baseball, a team will try everything they possibly can to steal signs, whether that be the pitchers tipping pitches. They can see what the coach is calling. There's a wide range of stuff. Even when a team knows what pitch is coming. We would do it in our fall games as well. We would tell hitters, hey, you're going to get a fastball here. and it was still difficult for them to hit it. And that shows how difficult baseball is. Like, you could know what pitch is coming and you could still have failure.
Hitting is the
So that
hardest thing in sports.
as a pitcher, that makes you feel a little bit more confident that, you know, even if they know what's coming, if your stuff is good, you're gonna dominate a hitter.
It's a really good point.
Definitely.
Really good point. All right, this interview has been awesome, Rammer. Thank you for coming on. How we finish off every interview is we do a little bit of a scratch off here. So I'm gonna scratch it off. Well, you scratch my back, I scratch yours. So if it's a winner, we'll get you the money. We usually say that we'll split, like if it's a big time winning, so maybe we can put a little money to elevate, continue to help this thing grow that we're trying to build here. But we like doing this with all our interviewees because, like, if we win some money, it would be great. You know, like hopefully get 1,000 views on some sort of social media outlet.
We'll get some beers when we win.
Maybe we can go out and get some beers together.
Someone should feed you some fake scratch offs.
Some fake scratch offs, so that that it's a winner, and then wow, that's a great idea. I should buy a prank fake scratch off. Have it be a winner. Now watch this one be a winner, and then no one believes me that it's actually a winner. The winning numbers are 18 and 10.
18, lucky number.
Is that one of your lucky numbers?
Yeah, that's lucky number.
What number are you wearing right now in South Carolina?
So I was wearing 77 in spring training, and they luckily graced me with the number 32 here in Columbia.
Really?
Yeah, I was super stoked. Stoked about it. Yeah.
That is hype. Paul, you kind of got pretty lucky too, coming in as a Masters, getting 23. I feel like that's a steal.
Yeah, so actually they gave me that number. One of the kids who wore 23 last year graduated. But Brodsky coming in wanted number 18. And this is just a funny story. Sal, if you're listening to this, I love you, but Brodsky wanted number 18. This kid Sal was number 18 last year, but he didn't play as much. He was a bullpen catcher. They just gave Brodsky number 18 and they changed Sal's number to 43. I was like an incoming grad guy.
Oh my gosh.
Kind of some, like, in order to get Brodsky here, Brodsky's like, yeah, I kind of really want number 18. They're like, all right, we'll make that happen.
Sal, I know how you feel, man. Don't worry, I was there with you.
Sadly, we do not have a winner here. No 18s, no 10s. Rammer, you're not bringing us good luck to the pod today. But hopefully we'll win some in the future. Thanks again for coming on. We really appreciate it. You'll be able to find the podcast all over Instagram, YouTube, TikTok, beyondthefield.pod. It should be released next Monday. April 17th is that, I believe. And yeah, Rammer, thanks again. Hopefully we'll have you on again soon. Maybe we won't do the interview in the morning next time so we can crack open some beers together.
Oh, of course. Thank you guys for having me.
Ryan Ramsey, everybody.